Murwillumbah has a thriving art scene and cafe culture. The popular street art mural on Commercial Road is the second longest mural in the world. Treasures of the Tweed is 7 kilometres long and took 5 years to paint. It tells the colourful story of the region's history, including flora, fauna and a pictorial illustration of life in Murwillumbah. The final day of the battle on the border is going to be a huge day. There are time trials for both men and women in the morning, and then in the afternoon they both have criteriums as the final stage. But in the time trials it's going to be very interesting. 9.8 kilometres for both of them, pancake flat, not very technical at all. And in the women's race it's tied at the top on the same time as Tessa Fabry and Rebecca Heath.
It's a short, fast course. It's an out and back, not technical. There's one left-hand turn, so I think things are going to shake up a little bit and it'll be quite interesting.
A bit nervous going into it. I won this time trial last year, but it is a different course.
Just behind those two riders, 8 seconds back in the overall classification, is Murwillumbah. So it's really tight in the women's race, and the time trial certainly is going to decide, you would think, the overall winner of this event. Amongst the early riders to start, there was a lot of talk about Lucy Kennedy, who's made the transition across from athletics to cycling, and she showed just how strong she is by setting the best time early on of 14:53. The conditions out along the course were absolutely perfect for a time trial, as Ruth Corset was out on the circuit now. She looked strong out on the course, and when she came to the finish line, she set a new best time of 14:37, 16 seconds better than Kennedy. Corset's time wouldn't stand for too long, as Louisa Lobigs was looking really strong out along the circuit, and when she came through to the finish line, she hit the line at 14:36.5 seconds, 1 second faster than Corset. Last year's Tour winner Tessa Fabry went off the start line looking very strong right from the get-go.
Yeah, it was really good conditions out there, so no wind, which was great. There was a few sections of the road that were a bit bumpy, so I had to watch out for that.
And as she powered to the finish line, it was going to be very close between her and Lobigs as she crossed the line with 14:36.2, only 0.3 of a second faster than Lobigs to set the best time. It was now all eyes on Rebecca Heath, the last rider to start, the last rider to come to the finish line, and it didn't appear that she was on a good one at all as she came down to the finishing straight, crossing the line with a 15:42, 1 minute and 6 seconds slower than Fabry.
After not racing since February, I wasn't really sure how my form was going to be, and of course you can't hide in a time trial. So yeah, really happy.
In the men's race, it's not very tight at the top at all, with the best and the standout time trial over the last couple of seasons. Joe Cooper from New Zealand has a 46-second lead over his teammate Patrick Bevan, but you would expect someone like Joe Cooper to extend his overall lead by the end of the time trial this morning. 100 riders remained in the Tour as they started the time trial, and one of the early favourites to post a fast time was Craig Evers from Data 3. He powered around the course looking very strong, and he made his way back down to the finish line and posted a new best time of 12:32. The time of Evers would stay for a long time until we saw the big favourites come out for the time trial. The next rider to start amongst those favourites was Sean Lake. As Lake came down to the finish line, powering across in a 12:35, it was the second best time, 3 seconds slower than Evers. When Patrick Bevan lined up, he knew which time to beat. The time of Craig Evers at 12:32. And the last rider to take the start line, the overall race leader, Joe Cooper. He is a time trial specialist. Would he be good enough to get the win today? Patrick Bevan was stomping around the course and set the best time at the intermediate split. As he came powering down the finishing straight, it was clear he would post the fastest time, and when he crossed the line with a time of 11:59, he was the first rider under 12 minutes and 33 seconds better than Evers. The focus then went to Joe Cooper, the last rider to start. He would be the last rider to finish. He was getting encouragement from his team vehicle. He's such a good time trialist, but would he be good enough? Powering down towards the finish line, almost matching the time of Patrick Bevan, 12:06, 7 seconds slower, second on the stage for Cooper.
It's been a bit of a focus on me to refine the time trial, to get the power out on the flat, and it's starting to pay off.
Well, we're all set for a fantastic couple of final stages here, the men's and women's criteriums here in the middle of Murwillumbah, and it's a really tricky circuit. Now, the women's race, there's only 9 seconds between Tessa Fabry and Louisa Lobiggs in the overall classification. There are 9 bonus seconds to be picked up during the stage as well, so that could come down right to that final sprint.
From Louisa, I'm expecting her to be quite aggressive. I know she likes to go off the front.
The race stayed all together up until the intermediate sprint at the halfway point, and it was the High5 Dream Team rider Jess Mundy crossing the line first to take out the 3 bonus seconds on offer. Almost immediately after the intermediate sprint, Taryn Heather went solo off the front, and it was the first real attack of the race. She wouldn't last too long though, with the pace of the main field reeling Heather back in. As all the teams lined up on the front of the peloton preparing for a sprint finish, Ruth Corset attacked the last time they went up the hill. She was followed immediately by Jess Mundy from High5. And as they came down towards the finish, it was Corset and Mundy out in front. But coming from behind was Mundy's teammate Kimberly Wells, the powerful sprinter from the High5 team, blasting past the 2 leaders to take the stage victory. Mundy crossed the line second with Corset third.
It was awesome. Coming into the crit, we really wanted to get the GC for Tessa Fabry, and we managed to do that. Jess Mundy picked up sprint preem points. I've got the green jersey. We took the stage win, and Jess Mundy came second as well.
Tessa Fabry crossed the finish line comfortably within the main field to claim the overall honours of the Battle on the Border.
Stoked on, I really didn't expect to be coming away with the win this weekend, and to have back-to-back wins, just really happy.
In the overall standings of the Subaru National Road Series, Ruth Corset sits on 36 points, 11 ahead of Lucy Caldwell and 14 ahead of Valentina Scandalara. In the men's situation, Joe Cooper is looking comfortable out in front on 41 seconds ahead of his teammate Pat Bevan, but Bevan was so strong in the time trial this morning. He's also the favourite to take out this stage as well. It's very well suited to him. He's got a good sprint and we know how strong he is. So it could be another Avanti 1-2. We'll wait and see what happens.
We're happy to see a break roll away or come down to a gallop, so it's not set in stone on that sort of course. It's too hard to predict.
It didn't take long for the first move to get established. 6 riders went off the front in the opening laps, including the Subaru National Road Series overall leader, Michael Schweitzer, and established a lead of 40 seconds. Avanti Racing came to the front of the peloton to control the pace and started lining it out. As the break was reeled in, Ben Hill from Charter Mason attacked, taking Craig Evers with him. They could only get to a gap of around 20 seconds in front of a very fast-moving Avanti Racing team. With 3 laps to go, Hill went solo, and it was the Avanti Racing train trying to chase him down.
I saw the yellow jersey on the front himself and the white jersey of the National Crit Champ in New Zealand on the front doing turns themselves, so I knew obviously their workhorses had been tired from early chasing our guys down, so I'm like, it's going to be hard to stay away from those 2 because we've been battling with them all week trying to get away from them. So it's just nice to be able to stay away for once.
As Hill rounded the final turn, there was a short gap over the main field and he was desperate trying to get to the finish line before the peloton. And then Michael Schweitzer burst from the main field and did not quite catch Hill. Hill crossed the line first, Schweitzer second, and Josh Taylor third.
Oh, that was so hard. This last lap, I didn't even know. I looked over at the top of the last hill and it looked like they were just on me. So I just head down the whole way to the finish line, expecting someone to come past the whole time. And I just made it. Oh.
It was a super strong ride from Ben Hill from Charter Mason to take the stage in front of Michael Schweitzer from African Wildlife Safari and Hill's teammate from Charter Mason, Josh Taylor, third. The big Kiwi Joe Cooper donned the yellow jersey as the overall winner of the Battle on the Border for 2015, 41 seconds ahead of his teammate Patrick Bevan and 1 minute and 46 seconds ahead of Charter Mason's Keegan Girdleston.
Always an amazing feeling to sort of double up from last year, so that makes it 2 battles on the borders completed.
Once again, we see Patrick Bevan from Avanti Racing leading the Subaru National Road Series on 34 points, 8 points ahead of 2 riders tied on 26, Pat Shore, his teammate, and Michael Schweitzer from African Wildlife Safari.